The shocking betrayal. The text that shattered everything. The champagne glass slipped from Maya Chen's hand, shattering against the marble floor of the penthouse suite. Her phone displayed a message that made her blood run cold. Your fiancé is at the Riverside Hotel. Room 4112. With her. I thought you should know. A friend. Tomorrow was supposed to be her wedding day. The dress hung pristine in her closet. The flowers were arranged, 300 guests confirmed. And tonight, while she'd been finalizing seating charts, Ethan Crawford, her fiancé of 3 years, the man who'd proposed under the northern lights, was apparently creating memories of an entirely different kind. Maya's hands trembled as she called her best friend. Sophia, something's happened. I need you to come over right now. 20 minutes later, Sophia Martinez burst through the door, her designer heels clicking urgency across the floor. Maya. What's wrong? You sounded terrified. Maya showed her the message. Sophia's perfectly made-up face went pale. This has to be a mistake. Ethan would never. There's only one way to find out. Maya grabbed her keys, her heart hammering against her ribs like a caged bird desperate for escape. The drive to truth. The Riverside Hotel loomed against the night sky, its windows glowing like accusatory eyes. Maya's BMW purred through the parking garage, and her stomach twisted when she spotted Ethan's silver Porsche in a corner spot. The same car where he'd first told her he loved her. The same car they'd made promises in. Maybe he's there for business, Sophia offered weakly. Maybe it's innocent. Maya wanted to believe that. God, how she wanted to believe that. But the message had said with her, capital letters, deliberate emphasis. Someone wanted Maya to know. Someone wanted her to see. They rode the elevator in suffocating silence. Each floor number illuminated felt like another nail in the coffin of Maya's future. 3rd floor, 4th floor. The doors opened with a soft chime that sounded like a death knell. Room 412 sat at the end of a carpeted hallway that seemed to stretch for miles. Maya's legs felt like lead as she approached. Sophia gripped her hand, offering silent support. Maya raised her fist to knock, then hesitated. Once she knocked, once that door opened, there was no going back. Schrodinger's relationship, simultaneously alive and dead, until she observed it. She knocked. The moment that changed everything. The door opened, and Maya's entire world imploded. Ethan stood there, shirt unbuttoned, hair disheveled, his expression morphing from confusion to absolute horror in the span of a heartbeat. But it wasn't Ethan that made Maya's knees buckle. It was the woman behind him, wrapped in the hotel robe, her long, dark hair cascading over her shoulders. Victoria Chen, Maya's older sister. Maya, Ethan started, but no words followed. What words could possibly exist for this moment? Maya couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't process the impossible scene before her, her sister, her own sister, the woman who'd helped her pick out her wedding dress, who'd thrown her a bridal shower 2 weeks ago, who'd given a tearful toast about sisterhood and eternal bonds. How long? Maya's voice came out as a whisper, barely audible. Victoria had the audacity to look guilty, pulling the robe tighter around herself. Maya, please, you have to understand. How long? Maya screamed, her voice cracking with the weight of betrayal so profound it felt like her chest was being carved open. Ethan ran his hand through his hair, a gesture Maya had once found endearing. Now it made her sick. 6 months, he admitted, unable to meet her eyes. 6 months, while Maya had been planning their future, tasting wedding cakes, addressing invitations. He'd been sleeping with her sister. While Victoria had been helping her choose between roses and peonies, she'd been destroying Maya's life from the inside. The northern lights, Maya said, the memory clicking into place with horrifying clarity. When you proposed. She was there that weekend. The work conference she couldn't miss. Victoria's silence was confirmation enough. We didn't mean for it to happen, Ethan said, the most pathetic excuse in the history of betrayal. We connected. Maya, you have to believe me. We tried to fight it. You tried to fight it? Maya laughed, a sound devoid of humor, bordering on hysteria. You tried to fight it while planning a wedding with me? While making love to me? While promising me forever? Sophia stepped forward, her face a mask of barely contained rage. You're both disgusting. Maya, we're leaving. These people aren't worth another second of your time. But Maya couldn't move. She was rooted to the spot, staring at the two people who'd systematically destroyed her. Tomorrow was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Maya, please. Victoria reached for her sister's hand. Maya jerked away as if burned. Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. You're dead to me. Both of you. She turned to leave, then paused. Something cold and hard crystallizing in her chest where her heart used to be. Enjoy each other. You deserve each other. But mark my words, you will regret this. I will make absolutely certain you regret this. The unraveling. Back in her car, Maya's hands shook so violently she couldn't start the engine. Sophia reached over, gripping her friend's trembling fingers. Maya, breathe, just breathe. My sister, Sophia, my own sister. How could she? How could they? The sobs came then. Violent and consuming. Years of love and trust shattering into a million irreparable pieces. Her phone buzzed. Another message. I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but you deserve to know everything. Check Ethan's laptop. Password, Victoria0615. Her birthday. Look in the folder marked contracts. The truth is worse than you think. Maya stared at the message, her tears drying as something darker took root. Whoever was sending these messages knew more. Knew secrets. And suddenly, Maya wanted to know too. Needed to know. Take me to Ethan's office, she said, her voice hollow. Maya, maybe we should just go home, have some wine, and take me to his office. There was steel in Maya's voice now, forged in the fires of betrayal. If I'm going to burn my life down, I'm going to watch everyone else burn with me. The first thread. Crawford Industries' executive floor was empty at midnight, just as Maya knew it would be. She still had her access card. Ethan had given it to her months ago so she could surprise him with late-night dinners. How romantic. How naive she'd been. His office smelled like expensive leather and lies. Maya booted up his laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard. Victoria0615. Her birthday. The laptop unlocked, and Maya's stomach churned with fresh nausea. The folder was exactly where the anonymous message said it would be. But it wasn't filled with contracts. It was filled with emails, hundreds of them, between Ethan and Victoria, dating back not 6 months, but 2 years. 2 years. Before the proposal. Before the Northern Lights. Their entire relationship had been built on a foundation of deception. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the email dated 3 weeks ago, with the subject line, "The Plan." Victoria, she suspects nothing. The wedding goes forward. We get the trust fund access when she signs the marriage certificate. Then we file for annulment after 6 months. Clean, simple, legal. $15 million split between us. She'll be devastated, but she'll survive. She always does. Ethan, are you sure about this? Maya loves you. This will destroy her. Victoria, Maya has always been weak. Too trusting, too soft. She'll cry, she'll recover, and she'll move on. We deserve this money more than she does. Father would have wanted us to have it. Maya's hands clenched into fists, crumpling the printed emails. This wasn't just betrayal. This was calculated theft. Her father's trust fund, established before his death to ensure Maya's financial security, required her to be married before age 30 to access it. She turned 30 next month. They weren't in love. They were con artists. And they had no idea who they were dealing with. Maya Chen might have been too trusting, too soft. But that woman died in room 412 of the Riverside Hotel. The woman standing in this office now was someone new. Someone forged in betrayal and tempered by rage. The anonymous messenger buzzed again. Now you know the truth. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Maya smiled, and it was not a kind smile. She opened her phone and began typing a response to the mysterious ally who'd revealed the truth. I'm going to destroy them. Both of them. Every dream, every plan, every happy ending they think they deserve. I'm going to take it all, and I'm going to make them watch. Are you in? The response came immediately. I thought you'd never ask. Let's give them a wedding they'll never forget. Maya looked at the wall of windows overlooking the sleeping city, her reflection staring back. Harder now, colder, transformed. Tomorrow was still supposed to be her wedding day. And it would be, just not the wedding anyone expected. Heartbreak and revenge. The wedding morning. Maya Chen woke up at dawn on what should have been the worst day of her life. Instead, she felt eerily calm. Clear. The kind of clarity that comes after a storm has ripped everything away, leaving only the truth standing. Her phone showed 17 missed calls from Ethan, 12 from Victoria, and 1 text from her anonymous ally. Everything is in place. Don't back out now. They destroyed you. It's time to return the favor. Maya showered, styled her hair into an elegant updo, and applied makeup with the precision of a woman preparing for battle. Because that's exactly what this was. War. And she intended to win. The wedding dress hung in her closet, a $15,000 masterpiece of silk and lace. She'd agonized over every detail, wanting perfection. Now she understood why, not for a celebration of love, but for the performance of a lifetime. Sophia arrived at 8, her face a mixture of concern and fierce loyalty. Are you absolutely sure about this? Maya, we can still call it off. Run away to Europe. Burn their lives down from a safe distance. Maya fastened a diamond earring, her hand steady. I need them to feel safe, confident. They need to believe they've won before I take everything away. What did the mystery person send you? Maya opened her laptop, showing Sophia the carefully compiled dossier that had arrived in her email at 3 a.m. Financial records, text messages, photographs, a complete blueprint of Ethan and Victoria's scheme. But there was more, much more. Ethan's company, Crawford Industries, was hemorrhaging money. Bad investments, embezzled funds, deals gone wrong. He needed Maya's trust fund, not just for greed. He needed it to save himself from bankruptcy and potential prison time. Victoria was drowning in gambling debts. The sophisticated, successful older sister was actually broke, desperate, and willing to destroy family for survival. They're not just betrayers, Maya said coldly. They're desperate, cornered animals, which makes them predictable. The ceremony begins. The church was packed with 300 unsuspecting guests, all dressed in their finest, anticipating a celebration. White roses adorned every surface. String quartet music drifted through the air. It was perfect, exactly as Maya had planned. Ethan stood at the altar in his custom tuxedo, his face a mask of barely controlled panic. He'd been texting her frantically all morning, messages ranging from, "We need to talk to please Maya, don't do anything rash." Too late for that. Victoria sat in the front row, her guilt-stricken expression almost convincing. Almost. But Maya could see the calculation in her sister's eyes, the mental math of splitting $15 million. Maya's entrance was timed perfectly. The doors opened, the music swelled, and she walked down the aisle alone. Her father was gone, her mother estranged, her sister a traitor. She carried a bouquet of blood-red roses instead of the planned white ones. The first signal that something was off. Ethan's eyes widened when he saw her. Confused. Worried. Trapped. Good. The officiant began the ceremony, his voice echoing through the church. Maya barely heard the words. She was focused on the clock on the back wall, counting down to the moment everything would change. "If anyone objects to this union," the officiant intoned, "speak now or forever hold your peace." Silence. Then Maya raised her hand. The church erupted in confused murmurs. Ethan went pale. Victoria half rose from her seat, panic flashing across her face. "I object," Maya said clearly, her voice carrying through the stunned silence. "I object to being married to a fraud, a liar, and a thief." The exposure. Maya turned to face the congregation, still holding her bouquet. "I'm sure you're all confused. Let me clarify. 3 nights ago, I discovered that my fiancé has been having an affair with my sister for 2 years. Gasps. Horrified whispers. Victoria stood, her face flushed. "Maya, don't. Sit down." "Victoria," Maya commanded, her voice sharp as broken glass. "You'll get your turn." Sophia appeared from the back of the church, pushing a projector cart. Within moments, the church screens, meant for displaying wedding photos, lit up with images, text messages between Ethan and Victoria, romantic photos, hotel receipts. And finally, the damning email about the trust fund scheme. "They weren't in love," Maya continued, her voice steady despite the devastation in the room. They were business partners. My inheritance required marriage before my 30th birthday, next month, and they planned to take the money and run. Ethan stepped toward her, desperation in his eyes. Maya, please, we can explain. Explain what? That you're not just a cheater, but a criminal? Maya nodded to Sophia, who clicked to the next slide. Financial records of Crawford Industries. Evidence of embezzlement. Falsified documents. Ethan Crawford has been stealing from his own company to cover gambling debts and bad investments. He's days away from federal investigation. My trust fund was his escape plan. Ethan's face went from pale to gray. Several men in dark suits stood from the back pews. FBI agents Maya's mysterious ally had arranged to attend. And Victoria. Maya turned to her sister. You've been drowning in casino debts for 3 years. You owe money to very dangerous people. People who don't appreciate being kept waiting. Victoria's legs gave out. She collapsed back into the pew, her perfect facade crumbling. So this wedding, Maya said, dropping her bouquet on the floor, is officially canceled. But don't worry, I've prepared a different celebration. The mysterious alley revealed. A figure stepped out from the shadows of the church balcony. A man in an impeccably tailored suit. His presence commanding immediate attention. Maya had only corresponded with him electronically, but seeing him now, she understood the extent of his resources and reach. He descended the stairs with casual confidence, and Ethan's face went from gray to ghostly white. No, Ethan whispered. Not him. Anyone but him. The man smiled, and it was predatory. Hello, little brother. The church erupted in fresh chaos. Ethan had a brother? Maya had never heard of him. Let me introduce myself, the man said, addressing the congregation. I'm Alexander Crawford, Ethan's older half-brother, the son their father had before he abandoned my mother for a more suitable wife. He turned to Maya, his eyes softening slightly. I've been watching my brother for years, waiting for the right moment to destroy him. When I learned what he was planning to do to you, I decided you deserved to know the truth and to help orchestrate his downfall. You're the one who sent the messages, Maya breathed. I have resources, information, and a very long memory of being abandoned and forgotten. Alexander's smile was cold. My brother stole my birthright, my inheritance, my father's love. I thought it only fair to help you steal his future. Ethan lunged at Alexander, but the FBI agents intercepted him, clicking handcuffs around his wrists. Ethan Crawford, you're under arrest for embezzlement, fraud, and conspiracy. Victoria screamed, trying to run, but security blocked the exits. 2 more agents approached her. Victoria Chen, you're also under arrest for conspiracy and fraud. The aftermath. The church cleared quickly, guests fleeing the disaster, their excited whispers already spreading the scandal across social media. Within hours, it would be everywhere, the wedding that became an arrest. Maya stood alone in the empty church, surrounded by white roses and shattered dreams. Alexander approached carefully, maintaining respectful distance. Thank you, Maya said quietly. I couldn't have done this without your information. You deserve justice, Alexander replied. And honestly, watching my brother's face when he realized he'd been outplayed, worth every penny I spent investigating him. What happens now? Now? Alexander's smile was sharp. Now you take control of your trust fund. Your father's lawyers will expedite the process since the marriage requirement was only meant to ensure you were settled, not to trap you in fraud. Ethan's company will be liquidated to pay his debts and legal fees. Victoria will face charges and likely prison time. And you? I get the satisfaction of knowing the golden child finally fell from grace. He handed her a business card. But if you ever need an ally, someone who understands betrayal and revenge, call me. You impressed me today, Maya. Not many people have the strength to burn their world down and stand in the ashes smiling. Maya looked at the card, then at the man who'd helped her destroy her betrayers. There was something magnetic about him. Dangerous, yes, but honest in his darkness. I might take you up on that, she said. Alexander left, and Sophia rushed over, wrapping Maya in a fierce hug. You did it. You actually did it. I did, Maya whispered, but instead of satisfaction, she felt hollow, empty. The revenge was complete, but the betrayal still ached like an open wound. Her phone buzzed. An unknown number, congratulations on your victory. But revenge is just the beginning. Your sister and ex-fiancé have friends, dangerous friends who don't appreciate losing their money. Watch your back, Maya Chen. This isn't over. Maya's blood ran cold. Sophia saw her expression. What? What is it? We need to leave. Now. They rushed toward the exit, but the church doors slammed shut. The lights flickered, then died, plunging them into darkness. A voice echoed through the blackness, distorted and terrifying. You think you've won? You've only made this more interesting. The game has just begun, Maya. And this time you won't see us coming. The ultimate payback. 48 hours of fear. Maya Chen hadn't slept in 2 days. Her penthouse apartment, once a sanctuary, now felt like a cage. Every shadow held threat, every sound a potential attack. The message in the church had been clear. Powerful, dangerous people wanted revenge for her revenge. Sophia had moved in, refusing to leave Maya's side. We should go to the police, she insisted for the 100th time, peering through the curtains at the street below. And tell them what? That I received a threatening text? Maya paced the living room, her phone clutched in her hand. We have no proof, no names, nothing. Her phone buzzed. Alexander Crawford, we need to meet, now. I know who's threatening you, and it's worse than you think. Riverside Hotel, room 718, come alone. Maya showed Sophia the message. Her friend's face hardened. Absolutely not. This could be a trap, or it could be the only way to end this. Maya grabbed her jacket, checking the small canister of pepper spray in her pocket. A pitiful defense. But something. If I don't come back in an hour, call the police. Maya, I have to do this, Soph. I can't live in fear. The meeting. The Riverside Hotel brought back visceral memories, the place where she'd discovered Ethan's betrayal. Maya's hands trembled as she rode the elevator to the 7th floor, each ascending number amplifying her anxiety. Room 718. She knocked. Alexander opened the door immediately, pulling her inside with surprising gentleness. Thank God. I wasn't sure you'd come. The room was set up like a command center. Laptops, documents, surveillance photos spread across every surface. Alexander wasn't just wealthy, he was connected, powerful, and apparently very paranoid. Start talking, Maya demanded. Who's threatening me? Alexander pulled up a photo on his laptop. A distinguished older man in an expensive suit, his eyes cold and calculating. Dmitry Volkov, Russian oligarch, runs a financial consulting firm that's actually a front for money laundering. Victoria owed him $3 million. Maya's stomach dropped. $3 million? Your sister had expensive tastes and worse luck. Volkov was banking on her getting access to your trust fund to pay him back. When you destroyed that plan, you made a very dangerous enemy. Why didn't Victoria just ask me for help? We're family. We're family, Alexander corrected gently. And you know why? Pride, shame. The same reasons people make catastrophic decisions. She chose the criminal path. And now you're paying the price. Where is she now? Victoria? In federal custody, being transferred to a women's correctional facility. She's been trying to trade information about Volkov for a reduced sentence, which has only made things worse. Alexander pulled up another image, a grainy surveillance photo of Maya leaving her building. Volkov has been watching you for 3 days. He's planning something. Fear crystallized in Maya's chest. What do I do? We, Alexander corrected, his eyes meeting hers with unexpected intensity, are going to take him down. Together, the unlikely alliance. You want me to help you take down a Russian criminal? Maya stared at Alexander like he'd lost his mind. I'm not an action hero. I'm a paralegal who just wanted revenge on her cheating fiancé. You're someone who successfully orchestrated the public destruction of 2 people while staying completely in control. Alexander countered. You're strategic, brave, and apparently have nerves of steel. I was terrified the entire time. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite it. He handed her a folder. I've been building a case against Volkov for 2 years. I have evidence of his money laundering, ties to organized crime, even murder, but I can't move against him officially without endangering witnesses. Then how? We use you as bait. Maya laughed, the sound slightly hysterical. Absolutely not. Hear me out. Alexander pulled up a detailed plan on his laptop. Volkov wants his money. We arrange a meeting. You offer to pay Victoria's debt in exchange for guaranteed safety. We wire you, have FBI backup, and catch him in the act of extortion. He goes to prison. You're safe, and justice is served. And if something goes wrong, if he kills me before the FBI intervenes... Alexander's expression softened, and he reached out, gently touching her hand. I won't let that happen. I promise you, Maya, I will protect you. Something in his tone, his eyes, made Maya's breath catch. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. Something else was developing between them, something complicated and dangerous and utterly inappropriate given the circumstances. Why are you really doing this? Maya asked softly. This is more than revenge against your brother. Alexander was quiet for a long moment. Because I know what it's like to be betrayed by family. To trust people who should love you. And have them destroy you instead. When I watched you stand in that church, exposing them, taking control, I saw myself. the person I wish I'd been when my family abandoned me. You see me as a kindred spirit in trauma? I see you as someone worth protecting. His thumb stroked across her knuckles, sending electricity through her skin. Someone remarkable. Maya pulled her hand back, though it took more effort than it should have. We barely know each other. Then let's change that. After this is over, after you're safe, let me take you to dinner. A real dinner, not a revenge plot or criminal takedown. Just two people who understand darkness trying to find a little light. Maya wanted to say no, wanted to maintain boundaries, stay focused, not complicate things further. But she found herself nodding. After this is over, if we survive. When we survive, Alexander corrected, his smile confident and reassuring. The setup. The meeting with Volkov was arranged for midnight at an abandoned warehouse because apparently criminals never met in well-lit public locations. Maya wore a wire beneath her black turtleneck, the device feeling alien and terrifying against her skin. Sophia had begged her not to go. Alexander's FBI contacts had briefed her 3 times. Everyone was prepared. Everyone had contingency plans. Maya was still terrified. She arrived at the warehouse alone, as instructed. Her car's headlights cut through the darkness, illuminating graffiti-covered walls and broken windows. Every instinct screamed at her to turn around, to run, to choose safety over justice. But she thought of Victoria, rotting in a cell for crimes born of desperation and greed. She thought of Ethan, whose selfishness had set this entire catastrophe in motion. She thought of all the ways people had underestimated her, dismissed her, betrayed her. She was done being a victim. Dmitry Volkov emerged from the shadows, flanked by 2 massive bodyguards. He was older than his photo suggested, his face lined with cruelty and cold calculation. "Miss Chen," he said, his accent thick. "Brave of you to come. Foolish, but brave. I'm here to discuss my sister's debt." Maya kept her voice steady, remembering Alexander's coaching. Confident, but not aggressive. Willing to negotiate, but not desperate. $3 million. Plus interest, plus inconvenience fee for the trouble your little stunt at the wedding caused. Volkov smiled, and it was reptilian. $4 million, total. I don't have $4 million in cash. Then we have a problem. Volkov nodded to his guards, who moved forward menacingly. This was the moment. Maya raised her hands slowly. "But I have access to my trust fund. $15 million. I'm willing to pay you 6. Double the original debt. In exchange for guaranteed safety and forgiveness of Victoria's obligation." Volkov paused, interest flickering in his cold eyes. "You would pay $6 million to save a sister who betrayed you? I would pay $6 million to end this nightmare and move on with my life." Interesting. Volkov circled her like a predator assessing prey. "And how do I know this isn't a trap, that you haven't brought police?" "Because I'm terrified," Maya said honestly. "Because I just want this to end. Check me for weapons, wires, whatever you need. I'm unarmed and alone." One of the guards moved forward, and Maya's heart rate spiked. The wire. He'd find the wire. The FBI would storm in, Volkov would react violently, and she'd be caught in the crossfire. But before the guard could search her, an explosion rocked the east side of the warehouse. Fire erupted, smoke billowed, and chaos descended. This wasn't part of the plan. The real enemy revealed. Through the smoke and confusion, a figure emerged. Not FBI. Not Alexander's team. Victoria. Her sister walked through the fire like an avenging angel, and Maya realized with horrifying clarity that she'd escaped custody. The guards moved to intercept her, but Victoria moved with surprising combat skill, disarming one and incapacitating the other with precise, brutal efficiency. Volkov pulled a gun, aiming at Victoria, but she was faster. She fired first, not at him, but at the support beams above. The warehouse groaned, metal screeching as the structure began to collapse. "Run!" Victoria screamed at Maya. Maya stood frozen, unable to process what was happening. Her sister, her betrayer, was saving her? Victoria grabbed Maya's arm, dragging her toward the exit as the warehouse collapsed behind them. They burst into the night air just as the entire structure caved in, fire and smoke erupting into the sky. FBI vehicles screamed into the parking lot, agents pouring out. Alexander was among them, his face stark with terror until he saw Maya alive. He ran to her, pulling her into his arms. What happened? The plan wasn't the only plan, Victoria said, breathing hard. She was covered in soot, bleeding from a cut above her eye, but alive. I made a deal. Testified against Volkov, agreed to cooperate fully in exchange for witness protection and a chance to fix one thing before I disappeared forever. Maya stared at her sister, unable to reconcile the woman before her with the one who'd betrayed her. You saved me. I destroyed you first, Victoria said, tears streaming down her face. I was weak, desperate, and cruel. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I couldn't let Volkov kill you. I couldn't live with that final sin. FBI agents moved in, securing Victoria. She looked at Maya one last time. I'm sorry. For everything. I hope someday, somehow, you can find peace. Then she was gone, led away to a future of protection and isolation. Alive, but alone. 6 months later, Maya stood on the balcony of her new apartment overlooking the city, the lights twinkling like terrestrial stars. So much had changed. Volkov was in prison. Ethan was serving 15 years for fraud and embezzlement. Victoria was in witness protection, location unknown. And Maya was free. Dinner's ready, Alexander called from inside. Their relationship had developed slowly, carefully. Therapy. Honest conversations, learning to trust again after betrayal. It wasn't perfect. They both carried scars too deep to ever fully heal, but it was real, built on shared trauma and mutual understanding. Maya turned, finding him silhouetted in the doorway, and smiled. Coming. She'd lost a family, a fiancé, and her innocence. But she'd gained something more valuable, herself, the knowledge that she was strong enough to face darkness and emerge with her humanity intact. Her phone buzzed one final time. An unknown number. You survived. Impressive. The account I promised is now active. Victoria's witness protection payment rerouted to you. $2 million. Use it well. And Maya? Thank you for not giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself. Maybe in another life we could have been the sisters we were supposed to be. Maya deleted the message, but kept the sentiment close to her heart. Forgiveness wasn't forgetting. It was releasing the poison so it couldn't destroy you from within. Alexander appeared beside her, wrapping his arms around her waist. What are you thinking about? Endings, Maya said softly, and beginnings. This is definitely a beginning, he agreed, pressing a kiss to her temple. Maya Chen had been broken, betrayed, and nearly destroyed. but she'd risen from the ashes stronger, wiser, and finally truly free. The revenge was complete. The healing had only just begun. The end.